Next up, at UFC 286, we have Sam Patterson taking on Yanal Ashmoz. Sam Patterson, 10-1 in his career. He's coming off a submission win on the Contender Series. Yanal Ashmoz is undefeated in his career with 5 stoppage wins. And Sam Patterson's very tall. He's a long striker. He's an insane 6 feet, 4 inches tall. And while he does not really use his length well for striking, like he's super long, super tall, he doesn't use that length for striking well. On the ground, he's always looking for something. He's those ridiculous limbs. He is Gumbying submissions, Gumbying his way into scrambles, making stuff happen with almost little effort because he is so long in those exchanges. Yanal Ashmoz is a well-rounded guy who does a great job adjusting in fights. He's going to come out as a striker, throw heavy, work in spinning attacks, and then he's going to adjust to the wrestling if he's not getting what he's supposed to get in the striking exchange. He's got a solid chin, a solid base. He can be heavy on top if he gets the takedown. There's nothing like explicitly amazing about this guy, but he's going to come forward. He's going to bomb. He's going to wrestle. He's a tough guy. And I like Yanal Ashmoz in this fight. I do not know why Sam Patterson is such a big favorite. I don't, and I get it's 260. It's not 500, but I really don't know why. Yeah, he's stupid long, and on the ground, he's like always like trying to make something happen, but he gets hit. He is very, very hittable. If you go look at that Felipe fight, yeah, he won that fight. He caught him rushing in. The reason he was rushing in is because he was having so much success just blasting Sam Patterson in the face. So I like Yanal Ashmoz to win this fight. I got a quarter of a unit on him at plus 230. The line's been like moving up and down a little bit. I threw $25. A unit for me is 100. I threw $25 at him at plus 230. I think he can beat Sam Patterson. When Jacob was doing his Twitter breakdown, I said, Sam Patterson sucks, huh? And you said, I'm not there yet. And then a few hours later, you're like, yeah, he sucks. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Someone put in the chat. Someone put in the chat Ichabod Crane, which is it's really funny. I knew the name, but I had to just Google it, and it's like, oh yeah, like Ichabod. I think that, and this is going to sound super disrespectful. So Sam, if you're watching this, I do apologize. But sometimes when he's striking, it literally is like a high schooler fighting, like when they, like this, so he's throwing the strikes with the chin straight up in the air. I mean, he just holds his chin straight up in the air. And the combinations and the strikes that he throws, there's no real power behind him. There's no real speed. You don't see that snap behind him. They're just kind of thrown out there, chin up in the air. I hate the way that he strikes, especially against a guy like Yanal. I assume, I wasn't here for the whole thing, but I assume you mentioned, I mean, he's an aggressive guy. He's basically like a little pit bull in there with his striking, with this wrestling. He is nonstop. I don't really see a gas tank issue. We'll see UFC, weird things can happen. Maybe he does get tired, but, Sam is a tall guy, but that's pretty much all you hear is he's so tall. He's so tall. He looks so tall. It's like, because he really doesn't do anything else. Yes, he looks like an imposing figure, and if he is in a situation where he's on your back, that's where his length really becomes an issue for people. Those long arms, those long legs, people really having a hard time getting up when they do. He can't snatch things up with those long arms, but I think Yanal comes in, gets in his face, really kind of overwhelms him in the striking. If he wants to go to the wrestling, I think he can get some takedowns because Sam will play off his back. And I just don't see Sam as a super dangerous guy unless he is on the back of Yanal, which I just don't see him doing in this matchup. So I think striking, he's in danger because he holds that chin up against a striker like Yanal. And on the ground, I think Yanal could just kind of control him for as long as it takes. And Sam, again, this is going to be disrespectful, doesn't seem like that guy that's got a lot of dog in him. I mean, he just doesn't come across as that bite down. When he's in the striking, it's almost like he doesn't really like to get hit. He wants to keep things clean. In the grappling, he's more of the jiu-jitsu guy than the ground and pound guy. I think he likes everything nice and clean, and Yanal is not going to give him that fight. I 100% agree. We're both on the big dog here.
Yeah. So,
What's your dog sound like? What's your dog sound like?
Scout? I have a beagle. It's off.
No, your dog. Like if you have a dog inside you, what's it sound? That's mine.
You're so manly.
Let's hear yours.
I'm not barking like a dog on my.
That's my
podcast.
favorite. That was my favorite TikTok for a while. What's your gun sound like? And people like, or like, like just all the different sounds. People would be like, "What's your gun sound like?" All different stuff. A lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that sounds like an absolute blast. Anyway, we're both on the underdog here, one of the bigger underdogs on the card that we're giving some credence to. You mentioned, I'm going to be a little disrespectful, Sam, if you're watching this. What is funny, so every video, every fight we break down, we chop it up, we tweet it, we tag the fighters in it. We're not like, we're going to talk about people. Here you go. Like, this is what we said about you. Not looking for trouble, but, pretend people don't exist.
I'm always looking.
And Jacob always calls a lot of these guys mental midgets. And we get
I've never met a group of athletes that are so mentally weak than fighters. It is unreal. I've obviously been around world-class athletes my entire life, and when it comes to fighters, the fact that they are searching out stuff and after fights looking for stuff, they're watching stuff. I had people threaten my life, basically. It is crazy how mentally weak these fighters are, and we just had a nice interaction with a couple of them. Carl Williams reached out, loved my breakdown. By the way, he said thank you, Jacob, for the support. Another fighter reached out, didn't really like my breakdown as much.
Veronica Macedo commented.
Veronica Hardy reached out and to your video, watched your video, and said she hopes she doesn't look bad or doesn't look horrible or something like that.
Because I said 3 years away, who knows, like whatever. But
and then SD Dumas and Josh Frem got in a little argument in our mentions. Because Josh Frem was like, you guys should do more research next time.
That's what was so funny.
And then SD Dumas was like, listen, if we fought again, I would beat your ass. You thinking you actually beat me? It's like, what? That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, it is fun. The best part about that is that Josh Frem got that win, his first ever UFC win. And then the next day, he's just on Twitter searching for his name. We weren't the only thing he commented on. Every time he searched his name, and actually, I think he searched SD Dumas's name because there were a lot of comments he made on people's tweets that are like, I'm betting SD Dumas, where Freem's name wasn't mentioned. And he was like, do more research.
Right.
And it's like, why do you care that much? But then we'll get like Tabitha Ricci retweets us and like, oh, thanks, guys.
Retweeted me specifically. Amanda Hebas liked our video. Yeah, she did like our breakdown. So
anyway, this is turning into like a weird.
So, and I don't know if everyone saw this. I don't know if you've seen this, Angelo.
You went to CVS. Congrats. Anyway, the whole point of that was I was just shitting on. You say they're mentally weak. I don't care, but like the positive interactions are great. But you're saying they're mentally weak, and the Josh Frem thing is so funny. Even in a win. Couldn't help himself.
I mean, Joseph Holm literally got upset that I said that he sucks, threatened to beat me up, and then went into the octagon and absolutely fucking sucked. I mean, I was like, this guy sucks. And then turns out he sucks.
That was solid. Anyway, we're both on the underdog here. We do have a $20 super chat from Pepe Silva, Mr. Hebas. What do you think about Darren Till possibly boxing Logan Paul?
I mean, he smokes Logan Paul. He probably loses to Jake. I don't know if he can beat the way I've seen Darren lately. I don't know if he can beat Jake, but Logan's not a boxer. So, I mean, he has boxed, but he's not really a boxer. Great in WWE, though. We agree with that. He's fantastic there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, well, thank you very much.
He was born for that. I appreciate the 20, Pepe. You're always you show up for the live stream. You do a lot of stuff for us, and we appreciate that.
No, thank you very much for the super chat for sure. And yeah, I love all those freak show fights. I was hoping Jake Paul would win so we can get more freak show fights. So hopefully we do. Throw Nate Diaz in there. I love all those.
What about all the bare knuckle stuff coming up? That's a little wild. Who do you think's going to win that? Luke Rockhold or Mike Perry?
I don't know, but I'm here for it. I've never watched bare knuckle. I'm going to watch that fight. Should be a great card.